Facebook is so much quieter. YouTube, what's up? You guys are here to make some noise. What's going on, guys? Today we have a Taurus. This is a pretty straightforward vehicle, much like the Malibus. So if I had Tauruses and Malibus all day, I'd be super happy. We are doing 20% carbon on all the sides and the back, so we're going to be running through exactly what you need to know to do it, and feel free to ask questions along the way. We're going to let some people filter in here, and this should be a pretty fun stream. Also, we have the boat, little curved windows sitting in the background. This is going to be done later tonight. It's going to be a late night stream. I don't know exactly when. I might run home before I do it, but it is getting done today, or attempted. We'll see. It's gonna happen. Love you. Virtual hug. Thank you. What's going on? Ken, Eric. 962. Is 20% over factory 30 or 35 too dark? Is 20% over 20 over factory is actually like 4%. It's like 5, pretty much. So if you want to do limo on their front doors, and then you want to match that, you do 20 over that. It'll be super dark. I don't really understand how this works. So the way to like figure out some of these, but it doesn't actually always translate to an exact number, would be like 0.20 times 0.20. So that's how you do decimals. So you move the percentage, you move the decimal over twice, and then you come up with 4%. It's really close to that, but I've done that with like lighter percentages, and it hasn't always been exactly that. Have you done a moonroof on a Model Y? No. I didn't even realize there was a sunroof on a Model 3, and then I saw it in person, and I'm still not sure how I'd do it without removing the paneling. I looked at that and I was like, tint the sunroof on the boat. We have a true troll in the chat. We'll just put a canopy over it. I think that's how you do that. We'll build one of those. What is it about the Chrysler 300 windshield that makes it a pain to shrink? I don't know. They don't strike me as that tough of a windshield, honestly, but stubbier windows could have a sudden curve towards the end, and that'll sometimes throw you off. I'm honestly not sure on that one. I do know I'd be more concerned with the electronics on the inside of those. That's not super fun either, because I've tinted like a Charger before, and then the lights would start like flickering, and I'd be like, oh shit, I don't know what I did. What is the worst car? Anything truly old school, like truly old school station wagon type of thing. That's just not fun. Oh, you know what? So there's the regular difficult things like the Bug, Beretta, T-Bird, but there's the ones that really just like, I know I can do them, but it's just the sheer amount of time that it takes. So it's like an 80s Corvette. It's just like, please shoot me. I don't want to do it. There was another one I had in mind I don't remember offhand. If I think of it, I'll definitely say it. But those cars that just like, even a Crown Vic. Crown Vics aren't that difficult. If you've been tinting for a while, the back window's pretty curved, but it's just like time consuming. So there's like the regular repetition of like, fuck, I wish these cars would go die. We have some of those. I think those get me more frustrated. Oh, the conversion vans. fuck the conversion vans. They're not even all that difficult, but the sheer amount of friggin' time that they take. Because it's like you're walking in the 2 barn doors on the side, or the sliding door or whatever, and then you got to go all the way like in the back, around the seats, and then you got to go out, just cut your pattern, go back in, and they would have these little pocket windows, and then they'd have the big one. So it's like it's so much like in and out, around, in and out, cleaning, because they're like 20 years old, full of crap. Yeah, those were no fun. That was weird. We gotta disable the camera switching. I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna do that sometime. I don't want to completely get rid of it yet. But for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wait, did we change it? Is it still Uno? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. We'll set up the GoPro. Does the tint affect the driver's ads on the... What? Can you restate that? Does the tint affect the driver's ads on the car, trucks, SUVs, windshield? Oh, the cameras. If you cover them up, yeah. So, they're starting to implement a lot of new systems. This is actually pretty interesting to me because windshields are getting really expensive to replace with those types of 80. I wonder if that was short. Driver 88. AIDS. Yeah, exactly. The driver assistant things that they're adding to vehicles. It's becoming a problem. So I had a long discussion with a glass shop owner, and he thinks it's going to get easier, but this current calibration for some of those vehicles is just ridiculous. So you have to put something in front of the car where the camera sees it, like a squared, almost like a QR code, but it's so the camera can realign itself. So basically, if you do anything to the camera, you're supposed to recalibrate it. If you remove it, you're supposed to recalibrate it. If you wipe it off, just stay away from it. Cut around all of them. Don't touch them. Just leave them alone. So it's easy for most of us right now on a lot of vehicles because the cameras are like buried in the dot matrix areas, and there's nice big cutouts that we just go around. So it's really just like there's a little area for the camera. So it's not that big of a deal for us, but if you were to happen to remove it or disturb it or something like that, you're supposed to get them recalibrated. From what I understand, they're working on better systems to make it easier to recalibrate and stuff like that. But like somebody in chat said, you either have the Subarus with like the dual cameras that are offset from the windshield that'll go through the windshield. And what the tech told me is that Subarus pride themselves on being very accurate. So even to calibrate it is a pain in the ass. And he said, just don't put anything in front of it. There's going to be tolerances for stuff like that, but it's just something that you don't really want to screw with too much without leaving it up to the customer to make that decision. So you're the tinter, you're not driving that car. It's potentially something that could be dangerous. So, hey, this might screw with your system if I do anything in front of it. So on all the ones where you're tinting around it, you're fine. So they'll put the camera butt up against the windshield, and it'll see straight through it. So you're not putting anything in there. You're not spraying in between it or anything. So you should be pretty good on those. But the recalibration, holy shit. You have to measure all these points on the car to make sure it's perfectly straight and level. And then you have to run a computer thing to like visualize the QR code looking thing in front of it and recalibrate itself. So there's just a lot that's involved in actually recalibrating some of those cars. So it's going to be an interesting future. It was on a Honda Accord, which normally would what, cost like $250 to get the windshield replaced in a halfway decent shop, cheaper in some areas and whatnot. If you want to actually get it all recalibrated and stuff, through insurance, it's an $800 job. Just for a Honda Accord now. So, yeah, it's not something I would fuck with. The calibration costs them $250 to have a guy come in and do it. Some areas charge more. It's just really kind of crazy stuff happening. Alrighty, let's fire this guy up. Why did that not do a thing? There it goes. All right, 2 seconds here. Still linking. Oh, hey, there we go. Safelight charges $350 if it's dual recalibration at $700. So they charge $250 to the shop, and then the shop adds another $100. So that's actually right in line with what they told me. And then with dual cameras, yeah, I can imagine if you have to individually recalibrate cameras. He also said something about the like side mirrors and stuff like that, because there's certain cameras that'll look out like the bottoms and stuff like that, like the what is it? Certain Hondas have the cameras in the mirrors now. Those actually need to be recalibrated if the mirror was taken off or something like that. So it's all getting pretty crazy with these assistant systems, which are supposed to be actually implemented into new cars, like every car, sometime in the future. John with the 5. Some cars I've tinted have top corners of film in front of the doors peel up towards the back. Any reasons that would be happening? Thanks. Thank you for the 5. So some cars I've tinted have the top corner peel of the film on the front doors. So towards the back. Okay, so the top of the windows, back corners. There is a good reason why it could happen. If this is with fresh tint or down the road, either way, it would be more likely with a fresh install. So some doors have really tight top corners. This could be on the front or the back. Actually, more commonly towards the front, just like you said. So we got this. Let me do a quick illustration here for you. So let's throw this guy on. Volkswagen Tiguan SUV. Ooh, yeah, that would be. I think that's got those front little quarter windows, too. Not super fun. Oh, I also need this. Pontiac G5. Oh, I had one of those. Okay. So actually, it might be even something that happens on here. You never know exactly what kind of car it's going to happen on, but if this is the area that you're talking about, the rubber seal can sometimes pinch really tight in here. So there's a quick fix for it. If it's brand new, like fresh window tint, right? Sometimes what'll happen to me is it's still slick. It's still a little slick right here. So if it presses extra tight, this acts like its own squeegee, basically. So it's just pressing against it. So as soon as that window rolls up in there, it presses down against the film and it'll want to make it try and peel. So what you could do is install the film on the top, heat it, and press the water out and just make sure it's mostly dried there. So you give it some heat to tack down more, and then you roll them up, you'll be fine. But that I've had that happen. I've actually had that happen recently too. It's usually not too bad to like ruin your entire pattern, but sometimes it can be. All right. Canon. Hi, I'm new to your channel. I was wondering what film you recommend as an entry-level product. Head on over to Tint Depot. Tint Depot has some really good films across the board. So if you're looking to like dabble in window film or get something a little bit more professional, they have a wide arrangement. So Tint Depot. Yeah. So the link that I just dropped in chat will actually give you a list of my recommendations too. So you can go check them out. Oh no! Not working for Bob anymore. If you ever need a good worker, call me ASAP. Dang, dude. I hope everything's going okay for you. Shit, that's actually kind of a big deal. Right now, I'm all the way out in Sterling Heights too. Daniel, what's up? Not yet. I'm like at this weird in-between stage where things are getting busy, but it's still like all personal stuff. But I will definitely keep it in mind, dude. I hope you're all right. Fuck. My lawyer said there's going to be a windshield lawsuit, tint shop involved. I mean, there has been in the past, not much. So, it doesn't matter if you're on the right side of the law or not necessarily. I mean, it does for your own shop, but it's one of those things where so many people are doing it regardless of the sentiment that you just run your business how you want, and then whatever happens is honestly going to happen anyways. There used to be a big thing in like some of the groups. They would get really frustrated with people that were doing like really dark tint on windshields. It's something I don't do here. But every shop will dance around dark films on front doors and stuff, and that's just as not okay depending on, they ride that state law too. And then the cops get it on theirs too. So, I don't know. What they would do is like, it's the driver's fault, and then whatever way they can pin it on a shop is what's going to happen. Max Pro carbon film versus metallized? Yeah, there's definitely a big difference. So it's just the construction of the film. So metallized films used to be something more common years ago. It was called a sputter metallized film. So that was, if anybody has heard of window tint messing up signals, like phone signals and stuff, it's from metallized film. So they got a really bad rap back in the day. So it was a pretty inexpensive process to get a good heat rejection film, because metallized films are a little reflective, so they will reflect the sun away rather than absorb it. So an HP film is typically a metallized film, and then carbon is little nanocarbon particles. So from what I understand, metallized films shrink a little bit slower too, or at least they used to. So compared side by side to like some other ones. When are you tinting the boat? Yeah, isn't it in the title? I don't know exactly when tonight, but we're going to be doing it tonight. And yes, it's going to be streamed. Do customers wash their car before they bring it in? Some do. I feel bad if they do, because I'm going to spray the outside anyways. So I have a little pressure washer over there that I can spray it off if I really want to, but it's not something that's ever much of an issue. I mean, to me, you know, people run late. They have other stuff to do. It's not going to make a grand difference if they do or not, so you don't need to. Cannon. Daniel Reyna coming in strong with a 10. Master sub. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. How you doing? We're keeping our eye on GME, too. It popped up 8% last night. There was a lot that happened. What was that? Oh, stupid voice. There was a lot that happened over the weekend in the financial space. Everybody tracked down buildings, financial buildings, companies that were running late weekend hours. There could be some interesting stuff on the way. I don't know. All right, so we're doing carbon. So that is not this. This is Pro Nano. Oh, God. Daniel Reyna with another 10. Oh, I half know this. I'm so sorry. So, Mabuti, I've heard that before. Salamat means thank you, like salamat po, thank you po, ikaw lang. My wife is going to be so upset with me about this one. I don't know exactly what that one means, but I know it has to do with, like I hope you're doing well or something like that. I try. All right, so this is the 20. We got 20 to do. I actually have to order more film, too. In the middle of a tint film shortage. Yay. Good stuff. Did we do this? Guys, did we clean this back window? It looks pretty clean. Yes, it looks like we did. All right. All right. Customer paid the extra? Yes. Another one. Another one. Daniel Reyna. Thank you. And let me line this. Takes an enormous amount of mental concentration. Not really. So, like, this is kind of what the camera cutouts kind of look like, except they're much smaller. So we were talking about those earlier. They always have this nice dot matrix border cutout right now, or at least on a lot of them they do. So it's really easy to just cut around it. You don't have to cover that space. PPF the boat? Yeah, no. Although, that would be, that would probably be a good business. I think they do, I know they do graphics, obviously. I don't know how much they get into like vinyl wrapping and stuff like that, but that whole thing, boats are big money. Especially window tinting them too, like all the yachts and stuff like that. Just people that get them. What time are you streaming the boat? I'm not sure. Just throwing it out there that there is a boat stream tonight. Is Tint Depot a good film to start a business off of? Yes, you can definitely start a business off of it. They're like, with their, I love them. They're like reverse branding. They take good films and they put their Tint Depot branding on it. Good company, part of a bigger company. Ooh, you know, maybe it's just me, but I swear the carbon is heavier than the Pro Classic. Every time I pick up one of these rolls, it's like, oof. No, he did not tow the boat in here. That was dropped off. GoPro. That was dropped off a few days ago. Or Thursday, wasn't it? It was Thursday last week now. What are we on? We're on Monday? Time goes fast. You know, I did the Model 3, and I was pretty good with that. And then somehow I got talked into a boat. So it'll be interesting. I'm not a boat guy. But it should be all right. Just one of those things that is like, kind of seems a little bit more intimidating, and I know some of the frustrating issues with it. Like if it had a dot matrix border, no problem. Yeah, let's do it. But it's got those stupid gasket seals, and those drive me crazy. So, not looking forward to that part of it. I'm going to try and trim them out some. We'll see how all that goes. Oh, we got a window lock on? What's up? What's up with this? No. Plenty of battery. That was weird. I'm betting there's a bad switch over there. Yep. Bad switch. That's okay. I got one of those Braun lights at Harbor Freight for $25. Oh, nice. Yeah, those are really good. I was a big fan of like really thin stick lights. I used to happily pay $80 for lights like that. There's like LED lights, you know, people would have like their big old whatever lights. I always just went towards like as thin and as bright as you can, because you want to get it low on the deck lid. And then when it's super bright, you can shine it right through the film and bounce it off the deck lid too. So those lights are awesome. I bought 2. Nice. Yeah, those are good for sure. Good to know they're a little cheaper there. Why does Avery create more water splotches than any other film when drying? I don't know. I've never really noticed that with Avery, honestly. But Avery was a good film. I liked them. Just found out what FUD meant. What's it mean? Is it fucked up discussion? Is that what it means? Because that's annoying. Well, not annoying. I thought it would mean something better. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that is better. Somebody in the last, like one of the previous streams said like fucked up discussion. And I was like, I guess. But if that's what they're calling it, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Yeah, it sounds like FOMO type stuff too, so good deal. It was me. Oh, hey. Yeah, I had no idea either. I wouldn't have guessed that, but it lines up. Yeah, I would never have figured that one out. The MSM, that one threw me for a loop too, because they were always like MSM, MSM, and I'm like, I thought, no, mainstream media, that's what it is. At least I think it is. How many days before you can roll tint down? Generally 3 or 4. I mean, you could roll them down immediately and you should be fine with a good installation, but don't ever do that to a shop. Don't get your own windows tinted and then roll them down immediately. Just for in case they just need a little bit more. Whoa, the up works, but the down, oh, there's something up with that switch. In the wintertime, it'll be up to a week, so it's very dependent on the weather. Just until it's dried. (2020 Venza). Is that a hard car? Toyota Venza. Does that have like some dumb front quarters or something? Dude, what was up with the weekend? Who said weekends are boring with the stock market right now? Holy shit, so much information comes out over the weekends now. It's almost more exciting than a weekday. Oh, it's so funny. So, if you guys ever happen to see the movie Margin Call, they like pulled an all-nighter in preparation for a major sell-off once they caught wind that their own risk was like way out of control. And it was just really funny because over the weekend, a bunch of like, you know, there was reports of Chase selling off a record 14 billions in bonds. And Bank of America then said, hold my beer, and sold 15 billion worth of bonds. And then a Fed, the new head of the SEC was signed in on Saturday, which hasn't happened since the 70s. And like all this crazy financial shit is going on. And then they're like 4 a.m. or something rolls around, and people start noticing there's like a huge spike in financial building activity. So it's like more people are here than usual. So then people actually go out to the buildings to look, and all their office lights are on, like on the upper floors, like where all the executives would be. And it's like, oh shit, what is going to happen? Like, what a cool weekend. Scary, a little scary. So if you ever seen the movie Margin Call, you're like, uh-oh, Monday morning, might be some shit. Nothing major I don't think has happened yet, but more news of like hedge funds being liquidated. So, and people's pensions and stuff like that too. Oh my God. Some of that's happening too. Like, Jesus. Hey Matt, new to the tint world, was wondering if you use filter to distill water in your tank. Thank you for the reminder. The filtered water is not something that I've ever done, but that depends on really where you live in your water. So most shops, like all the water that I put from into my spray tank comes from a hot water heater that's up there, and it sits. And so when I fired that sucker up, it was just spitting out lots of chunks. So I tried to flush it out as much as I possibly could, and I think it's been good, but I actually got a filter that I picked up at Menards that I can show you guys soon. All it is like something that straps to like a spigot for like camping and stuff. That should be fine. And then this has like a little inbuilt filter in here. But I don't actually run and get like big 5-gallon jugs of water, of filtered water. Some shops do though. I hate heavies. I hate going to the store and getting a bunch of heavies. So it's like milk, orange juice, creamer, anything like big, heavy liquid. I hate picking that shit up. All right, we're gonna turn this back off now before we suffocate ourselves too much. When that happens with the switches for the windows, does it ever get you thinking maybe I was the one that caused it? Oh, for sure. Especially when you're partway through a job. The good news is that it was the first thing that we touched. So we did nothing on the inside, and then we just touched that one. So it's like we knew that there was no problem. But it's not completely unheard of to have like a switch on the other side of the car not work, and then at least all the driver's ones work. So as long as those work, we can still do it. We just do a lot more back and forth stuff. So my limit sell order is soft capped at $2 million. I'll have to do a market sell-off when yeah, who knows? Who knows how wild it was going to be. I'm still following it. Oh, we're trading pretty flat. It spiked to 175, down to 193, no 192, somewhere in there, and it's going flat at like 166. That's fine. But we're up like 8% and holding on the day. Still waiting for the financial world to explode. What PSI? I usually run 65 to 80. That seems to be a fine pressure to get you through the entire tank. I'll send him the full live stream video. In this case. Do you got a cap on yours? Not yet. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm not setting any hard rules with it. I'm gonna watch and make decisions based on that. I have no idea. I think that's where everything's gonna get chaotic. For sure. It's just gonna be a mess. It's gonna be up, down, and it's probably gonna make me like freak out on the way up. There's lots of people that are like, just wait till it hits the top, and then it's on the way down. And then somebody wrote like some sort of a guide to like help understand that a bit better. Nobody knows. Tried to put my sell limit at 99,999, but it said 2 mil was the cap. Well, at least they give you a 2 mil cap. That's still pretty unheard of. Would you remove the mirror on a Taurus? I see. It depends on like what's up front. So this is the pain in the ass mirrors that I would never remove. So no, I wouldn't do that. And it has a nice bordered cutout, so I just cut around it and then call it a day. Some are more complicated than that. That one is pretty straightforward. It's just you're not going to be removing it. Oh fuck. Towels. That's all outside, isn't it? Ah shit. I knew it. Can we go outside? Can we take a field trip? Will it work? No, it won't. All right, hang on one second. I gotta run outside. Super quick. I gotta grab some towels. Everything's outside. Oh wait, they might not be. Yes, they are. All right, sorry, my dudes. Some things are going to disconnect if I take it with me, so one sec, I'll be back. We got towels. I forgot them. So if you did ceramic film, would that affect the heat rejection by not putting it on the border? Yes, but no. Oh, I gotta put on my headset. So, ceramic acts like a barrier. So the ceramic wouldn't affect those areas, but you gotta understand how ceramic works. And to do that, we need to talk about thermal dynamics. Oh boy. Which is something I didn't know until after ceramic. Okay, so ceramic film, think of it like a heat sponge. That's what ceramic is doing. So it's a clear layer like the ceramic film, it's a clear layer where you can still see through it, but the film acts like a heat sponge. It's probably the best way to describe it ever. So when you tint the full windshield and you leave these areas here, your heat sponge is still these black borders. There's no IR, there's no UV, there's no sunlight getting through any of these areas, so you'd be completely fine. So it keeps your car cool, but really, if your car sits out in the sun, it's still a metal box. But that heat generally will stay on the windows and not move as much quite into the car, but the car will still get hot. So there's there's so many little selling points on ceramic film. And really, a lot of it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna, you would think that if you spend significantly more money on a better film, that it would be like clearer, but they're not. They're all good looking. They all look great. It's the heat rejection aspect of it. So we all want there to be more selling features on that film, but it's really the heat rejection. That's what you go for. And you say heat rejection, it should be like heat absorbency. But that doesn't sound as fun, right? Oh shit. I had a Forerunner window go up and down constantly. Will the computer dry out and stop it? I couldn't tell you. As soon as you get the electronics wet, everything is up in the air. It's possible. It's possible that all that is going on is a little connection, but you might have fried a circuit board in doing that, and then it's running current all over the place. Fucked up a capacitor or anything. Start corroding it. Who knows? So we should be able to roll it up. But when you roll it down, that's the only part of the switch that isn't seeming to work. Which is fine. I've done like a lot of Grand Prix, Crown Vics, that type of stuff. I have problems with curved rear windows. A lot of people do. Learning to tint cars is a big project. Like it's a whole career. So the nice thing is the way you learn is you just jump into it and start doing it. You don't have to like sit there and take a bunch of classes, about window tint theory. You just get the film and you just get started. But you're learning a skill that can be turned into a really well-paying career. So it can be quick money, but it's not as easy as you'd hope. But that's why it also pays, right? If it was easy and everybody could do it, it wouldn't pay well. Unfortunately, there just isn't much. There isn't much out there. Is that a fusion handle? Yeah, this is the shorty. I think it's a little lighter than the Fusion 5. It's yeah, it is. It is a great handle. They're built like tanks. They're They're never going to go bad on you. They're never going to snap. As far as I can tell, I don't know. I've had a fusion handle, the same one, for a very long time. Never broke it. But then, again, some of those people posting the bulldozers. Oh, people are talking about the boat. Okay. Yeah, but the the bulldozers. I didn't think you'd be able to really snap a bulldozer very easily, and then people are posting pictures of snap bulldozers. But as far as the fusion handles go, they're built like tanks for sure. The boat stream is sometime tonight. I don't have an exact time because I don't know when I'm exactly going to be available to tint it tonight, but I will be tinting it tonight. Either one or two things is going to happen. I'm going to do my 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to get started on the boat right after, or I'm going to go home first and then come back and do the stream. So just leave the bell on. It'll pop up in your notifications. Or just mad refresh the channel a couple of times. You can also like pay attention to the Facebook group too. Any of those, and you'll be able to catch it for sure. As long as YouTube is good about pushing notifications, which then I hear sometimes they are, and sometimes people hit the bell and then they still don't get it. But I had this opportunity to stream this one first, so that's what we're doing. I originally wasn't going to. I was just going to do the boat later tonight, but we have a full car. We like streaming full cars. They left the boat there for a full few days? Yeah, that was part of the deal. And the deal was like, was just, if you want me to do your boat, drop it off, and then I'll get it done. But it's gonna, like, drop it off for about a week. I've done business for this guy, and it's been cold as shit. So, like, he's not like ripping this on the lake every day. He got speakers done. He wants to redo the graphics on the side. It's one of those things that it's a project thing. It takes time. So, yeah, you know, you can get people to drop things off for like more than a day. You gotta just talk to them. And if they can make it happen, they'll make it happen. Like, there's some people that are drop off tints and then they'll pick them up the next day. So, free storage? Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm sure he's got plenty of storage too, so. No, I'll charge him like $30 a day for storage too on top of it at the end. Wouldn't that be fun? Somebody dressed up in an ape costume, and oh, I saw that post where they hung outside of the Citadel building. I saw that building in person. I was there. When I said I went to Chicago, we were actually in a hotel literally 2 blocks away from that building. I had no idea until like I looked at maps and then it said Citadel, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? We're like right over here. So I got to see it. I didn't like go take a tour or anything. I just saw it. Yeah, I wasn't walking around inside the building. Like, it's an actual place of business. What the fuck? It has to do, it's the company that's been being not so nice to the financial markets lately. 20%? Yes. You know, I forgot this is carbon, but I forgot it was. So the soap Soap is going to vary a little bit on this one. We actually have not swapped out the soap from the last stream. So that'll mean it usually separates a little bit, and it'll make it a little bit more tacky, so that works out well. If this was a regular, like Pro Classic or something, it would be a little bit more difficult to slide in place. This isn't a religious organization. Oh shit. Ooh, there we go. Feel this. Amen. This isn't a religious organization. Amen. Amen. Do you change your ratio depending on the type of film? Sure. Most of the time, you don't have to. But I'll tell you, across the Geo line, the Pro Classic is definitely a little sticky. And then the carbon is the carbon is, it slides a lot easier. So you just don't need as much soap. That's not to say every carbon film. That's to say the glue that is on this carbon film slides easier. So just play around with it. So this is like it's real simple to figure this part out. Like, how much soap do I need? Well, it's how much soap do you want? If you put the film on the glass and it's sliding all over the place, yay, and then you squeegee it down and then it's still sliding all over the place, well, you probably put a little bit too much soap in your tank, because now it's a pain in the ass to get it to lock down. But if you didn't put enough soap in your tank and you put it on the glass and it just freezes, you don't want that. You want to be able to shift that around a little bit. So your ratio is up to you, and you just keep adding and removing until you get a nice balance in between it sliding around and tacking up in place, and it saves you time. So every once in a while you'll see we have a car that maybe it's just sliding around a bunch, and I'll just have to pause on the window for a little bit, heat up the top corners or something to get it to lock in place. That just means that there's maybe a little bit too much soap. Doesn't mean the job is ruined, it just means it took me longer to get it to lock up in place. Like here, let's see how long this takes and how aggressive I have to be. So it's sliding, yay. Still sliding, yay. Then we get it in place, yay. And then we hold it, and we squeegee it down. Now is it still shifting? Oh, look at that. It's still shifting. Squeegee out a little bit more. It's not shifting quite as much. Starting to tack up a little bit more, that's good. But it's still shifting. Still shifting, still shifting. Still shifting. All type is undefeated? Nah, it was all right. I like the Tint Slime Ultra a little bit better. So now, the more that we squeegee, and the longer we leave it sitting in a place, the more that window tacks up. And then, eventually, like, I'll always wiggle and look at my top edge. And it'll wiggle less, it'll wiggle less, it'll wiggle less. So you want to just make sure that it's tacked up to the point where when I roll up the window, is it still going to, is this rubber seal up here going to push the film back down? So it looks pretty tacked up to me, and we're good. Even if it didn't push it down, if your film is sliding around, the rest of your install is going to slide all over the place. So always make sure that that's tacked up, that you had a good amount of soap to slide it, but not too much that it's never tacking down. It'll tack down eventually, but the amount of time that's going to take you. So, hope that was helpful. It's how much soap is definitely a really common question. And I think that bleeds back into just a lot of people don't necessarily understand why they need soap in the first place. The whole goal is just to get it to slide. That's it. Slide into place. That's all you need to do. If it does that, good. Had enough soap. It's not gonna like bubble. It's not gonna peel. It's not gonna fade or do anything weird if there was like not enough soap or too much soap. I mean, maybe if like you only used pure soap and no water, maybe that's too much soap. Do you have to use soap? You can try without and see what happens. Let me know. If we add soap to make it slide, I wonder what happens if we don't use any soap. It's like if you use a heat gun, like do you have to use a heat gun? Well, you could try not to use a heat gun and let me know how that goes too. We'll hang out on the next stream and see what happened. All right, so we're gonna get these quarter windows. We're gonna get the quarter windows out of the back window. So this is a 40. So I know that I'm gonna have quarter windows for days, but 36s should work fine too. The quarter windows on this are a little bit taller, but weirdly enough, like we've talked about before, my back window is a little shorter. Why do they all add up to about 36? I have no fucking clue, but they just do. Not always, most of the time though. I think BMWs is like one of the anomalies. What kind of tape are you using for the quarters? So that is called Glass Aid. It is a 10 mil thick tape. It's white so you can see it, and that basically helps save you some time. The main purpose is to protect the glass. So if the tape was really thin, we'd cut right through it. There's a few other ways to try and do this without it, but I found tape is the most convenient. So you have that little bit of application time, which drives me crazy because I'm all about trying to save time on any install that I'm doing. So we might take extra time for quality, but any extra steps, like every step that you take with tinting a car needs to have a purpose, or else you're just wasting time. You don't want to waste your time because time is money. Money is potential. You gotta keep that train going as best you can. So I'm cutting on this. I can see right through it to the white car, so I don't need it on this quarter window to see, but I don't want to put a scratch in the glass. So on longer, bigger pieces of glass, that's what I use this for. I should have left that on because I was going to cut out both on the same one, but I was talking too much. So you could still do like small touch-ups and stuff, lightly. It's just when it comes to like like I'm using stainless steel blades, so they're safe enough to cut on glass, but they always have that risk of scratching the glass. So you want to try and minimize that any way that you can. So especially on a big old piece of glass that's going to cost me far more than the tint job to replace if I fuck it up, I want to put something in between there. Gotta go back to work? This is work. No, I know you gotta go back to work. I'm saying this is like saying I gotta go back to class. This is class. I'm a bad employee. I put my phone on and I have headphones on the whole time. So when wherever I'm tinting, I'm always watching stuff. Sometimes it's gotten really bad where a job will take me far longer. Buffering. Seems okay right now. You snap shrink all the side windows? Pretty much. If these would be okay to not. These would be okay to probably not shrink. But, dude, it takes a half a second to shrink them. Okay, so going back to time. Why am I wasting time shrinking a quarter where I probably don't have to? Well, and the off chance that I have a tiny little finger pop up, sometimes you're spending more than a handful of seconds to get that out, because when a finger pops up on the inside, it takes far longer to get it to go away than on the outside, because that sucker fills up with water. It fills up with water, it sucks up dirt, and it might ruin your whole window. Where the handful of seconds that it takes to just shrink it really quick, there, all my problems are gone. Boom, done. Let's keep going. You guys are going to tint. You guys are going to want to tint at least 4 full cars in a day. You got to save as much time as you can. So like if each car takes you 2 hours, that's an 8-hour day. So we want to go as fast as we can, but we still want quality, right? It's all about finding that balance. So even the plastic on the door panels, it's quick to put on. Why don't I do a cloth and I tape the top? Because it's done quicker. Sorry, I got a couple of super chats. Thank you. T-Jet. It was T-Jet. Oh, God. Well, I'm glad you didn't take my advice, buddy. I would have pieced out a long time ago. T-Jet, thank you for the 10. 23 to 25-inch Toyo and Nissan back windows are awesome ones. My mobile job from last stream showed paid me $50 up front for waiting. Also, R&D'd his neighbor's 99 F-150 and camper shell before my Trek helm. Ew. Oh, I wouldn't want to do an R&R on a 99, but at least you got more work out of it, too. But my advice was to peace out. At that point, I would have been long gone. So sometimes it's worth it to tough it out, but Holy shit. That's a tough situation to just hang out there. But I'm glad that it became worth your while to do so. You never know. Like, there's two sides to it. YouTube, sorry. Mobile work, it can definitely be frustrating because you don't know who is trying to get one over on you and just doesn't care about your time and who is actually going to make up for it. So there were times that, like, I would be really frustrated to go out 45 minutes just for a set of doors at a shop and then have nothing else for the rest of the day. I'm like, this is not worth the time. And then what somebody would tell me is, like, you got to look at it like there's always money potential out there too. So yes, sometimes you'll go out there and just do a set of doors, but what you're hoping is that they'll be able to pull in another job for you and then get a full car on top of it. So chin up and tough it out every once in a while because you have a good job. So there are those times. For sure. Glad it worked out. I put my truck in reverse the minute he pulled up. Is this like a universal thing? Dude, I can't tell you how many times I have been at the brink and then you... Okay, so this is how it goes, guys. You will have... This is how window tinting goes. You will have nothing at all to do, at all. You'll be waiting for hours. And then as soon as you call it, as soon as you take your shit, you pack it up, you're out the door, somebody will call you. Hey, can I get a tint job? That's how this universe works. I don't know why. I've had that happen so many times. And at that point, I'm so mad. Because it's like, you could have called like 5 minutes sooner. I would have had my stuff still out here. But I just packed up. I'm ready to go. I'm in let's get the fuck out of here mode. God, that happens so many times. So you put your truck in reverse, and then he pulls up. Of course he did. All his customers got my number. Oh, oh, that's good. Sometimes you wonder if that's the client base that you really want. if one guy wasted your time like that, how many more are going to do the same? But you never know. People are funny. There's a lot that'll respect appointment times and a lot of people that won't respect appointment times at all. Shrinking over stickers? It's fine. You can get away with it. It's not going to leave an impression in the film or anything. It might make it a little bit more difficult to shrink the film, and it depends on like what the sticker is. So if it's like a little decal in the corner, or if it's like a glitter bomb that's offset from the glass by like a ½ an inch. You know what I mean? If it's just like, if it's just been bedazzled to hell, like it depends on what type of sticker it is. Most of the thin decals and stuff, you can tint over them just fine, or you can shrink over them just fine. It's always cash with them. Ooh, that is a perk. T-Jet with a 4. They don't want the tint, they need the tint. I hear ya. It makes you stand out a little bit, though, depending on how dark you go. So it kind of can work against you, because people go, you know, I want the privacy. I don't want anybody peeking in. And it's like, yeah, but it also can, like, you know, if people can't peek in at all, and you just go black out, then it's like, what are you hiding? This looks like the edge curves up a little bit, which is a little unusual. And this top edge definitely is dirty. I I don't know if it's like staining on the glass. Like, okay, nothing really abnormal. Oh, the Doge run up? Oh my God. So I have a hard rule not to chase anything, and I stay pretty consistent with that. So like, dude, the whole financial space is just going bonkers right now, and crypto is just insane. So, fucking Doge. Like, I started really paying attention to it after it had that run up to 8 or something. I was looking at it before, and then it made a run up to 8, like Elon tweeted about it or something too. And I was like, oh, dang. And then it went from 8 back down to 3. And I'm like, okay, that's a buying opportunity. It had big run up, quick down, and it's not going to go away yet. And then I looked into buying it, and I was like, what the fuck? So I just kind of thought that it wouldn't pick up as much because it looks like a big pain in the ass to buy. There was like a guide on how to buy it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why can't you just go pick this up without a bunch of sketchy? And then I gotta, so I stayed out of it. And then it ran all the way up to like 40. So the meme is strong. Throw fundamentals out the window. Those have been gone long ago. We are on hype meme stocks right now. That is the trend. But I was already deep into GME at the time, so I didn't want to. People say diversify. I say what? I say, what do I say? I don't know. I diversified my whole portfolio by buying GME. No. I ain't selling yet. The GME is just, they're going to be fine without all the extra shit that's going on. Like, from where they're at, if you just, they're what? What are they trading at? Are they trading at like 12 billion right now? Like a market cap of like 12 billion? Dude, they're just far undervalued. This time next year, they could easily be 40 to 50, like no joke, just on whatever they're doing. And I think it's going to be far sooner than that. They're just a really crazy case. Really crazy turnaround story. GameStop is not retail. GameStop is e-commerce now. They have a proven e-commerce business that is literally transforming it to that working model that was bought out by PetSmart. So they'll be great. It's really crazy. It's like all the debt that they had built up, whatever, like, you know, it's like they were basically paying for all, like, the properties and buildings and stuff that they're shutting down. Like, they get money back from that. Like, they can sell, like, whatever properties and stuff that they own, they can sell it and get, like, just more cash. So that's what they've been doing. They've been scaling back on their retail and moving towards e-commerce a lot more. But they're still going to do some interesting things. All right, we got this tight corner here. This is tight right here. I just don't want to get that little fold, because if you get a little fold down there, you're screwed pretty badly. So if you run into a bottom corner that's like extra tight there, what I would normally do if I caught it ahead of time is I would over round the corner because it's so tucked down. Like you're tucking film down there. Down here. So this, like, it'd be perfectly, because look how far past the seal that we went. Like, kind of, you can't really see it that well, but if it's really, really tight there, there's no harm in just rounding that corner extra. So that'll make it much easier to kind of get it to lay in that spot. If you tweeted you were going to buy more Doge, we would buy it. Oh, I didn't buy any, but I didn't know it was going to run to 40. If I knew it was going to run to 40, same thing with like 20 and 10. It's like if you know, then there's no question. But it's like it's the unknown, so you take those risks. And I'm more about a surefire story than I am with all the crazy hype runs and stuff like that. Some of them win big, and they'll screw you just as fast. So now buying at 40, like it's got to run to 80 to double your money. Like that's where it gets sketchier. Felt the same way about Bitcoin. So maybe if there's some type of significant crash, but then people would be expecting that. So it's like you don't know how the markets are going to act. It does seem like a bunch of financial companies are using Bitcoin and Doge as ways to fudge their finances a little bit. This one doesn't stick as well here. My wife told me there was somebody at the end of the stream last time that was asking about carpet shield. And then they said I was using some sort of a GeoShield carpet shield. But yeah, GeoShield doesn't have one, so it's definitely carpet shield. And I've been... Oh, wait, no, she also says somebody had my back on this. Yeah, carpet shield sticks to a good amount of panels, but it definitely falls short. I want something better, but this is quick and it works good enough. I respect your discipline to use carpet shield. You see me use it here. I always use it here. I don't use it at mobile. That's the only thing. It's not convenient for mobile. You need like somewhere to pull a sheet off and cut it. So as far as like tinting in somebody else's garage, I don't do it. I still wipe off panels and stuff. Where are we at? 164, slowly trending down. Aw, sad face. No economic disaster today, I don't think. GME Russell 2000, April 19th. Oh, no, against the Russell. What the fuck? This is why I love this subreddit. This is the whole Russell 2000 here. Just a sea of red. Look at that. Look at all that red. And then you have, what's that green spot? Oh, that's GameStop. What the fuck? Do you have to pull the tint past the bottom seal? I would recommend it. You don't necessarily have to. But, so, we actually pulled off a couple of stickers, right? So if you just have a nice flat line above the seal here, people say your tint's gonna peel. I disagree. It's sure you always have that chance, but there's stickers that are always on cars that never peel. They stick. So I would expect my film to have a pretty good adhesive attached to it too. That's not gonna make it peel. But what you're gonna get is a gap. So you really want to tint below the seal to avoid any type of a gap. So yes, you want to put it down there for that reason. But it's not because I think it's just going to peel or something. There's some seals that would be harsher than others, though. Fords are generally pretty easy. Ooh, we have a kid seat to take out. I've got a lot more respect for child seating. Ugh, it's not fun. You know, I need to get in the habit of running my hand over the window before I go to stick anything to it. Because I've run into a few instances where I keep missing like a glue spot or something. Definitely this top edge is really fucky. Here we go. There was this ram I did the other day. I saw a couple of glue spots from like a license plate, and I cleaned that all off. It looks squeaky clean. But it had stickers on the window, like on the outside, that covered up the window. And so I didn't realize there was a whole big glue spot behind one of those stickers. No fun. At least it's not glue on the windshield. Shit, you reminded me. That was Friday. I missed a spot. That was the other reason. I did a windshield. And you know where they put the inspection stickers in the lower corners? It didn't have an inspection sticker or anything. We don't have those here. But it sure as hell had something there that was half-ass scraped off. So I went across the whole windshield with a clay bar. But clay bar's not going to get adhesive off like that. So then I had it all tinted. It looked great. And then I see that spot. And I was like, fuck me. That was bad. And I'm like, this was not here. This is at the glass shop. And I'm like, it's like 4:30 or something like that. And they have this other appointment that wasn't written in the book, but that came in and had an appointment time written on a business card, which is really unusual. So then they come back and they're like, hey, we got this set of doors. I'm like, yeah, this should be fine. And the next thing you know, you're screwing up the windshield. And then I was like, okay, now I'm way behind. Because it was on a Ram. So I just cleaned everything. So I got to retape it. I got to make sure everything's all toweled off. And then it freaks me out because it's a Ram. And then the owner was like, I think I can sell this. He's like, I think I'm going to point it out to him, give him a discount, and I think it'll be okay. And I'm like, if you think so. Because the rest of it looked great. There's just that spot, and I hate doing stuff like that. But it's like, I either redo that windshield, or I get those doors done that he promised to that guy. I wasn't going to do both. There's no way I was going to get both done. And the guy was cool with it. So he gave him like 30 bucks off the windshield, which really is not bad, and then we split that. So, hey, we'll take it. That was a rough day. That was on Friday. Most of the other stuff was fine. It's just one of those days. All right. So this one is pretty good. Ooh, it's about time. Question about time. Currently employed at a dealership for Tint. I just started a business contracting myself to other dealership. My question is, how do you split that time to get that time with your family? Currently employed at a dealership and Tint. I just started a business contracting myself for other dealerships. So you're trying to work on the side and Tint at the dealership at the same time? Is that what you're doing? Because that's definitely tough. There's a period where I didn't have hardly any time. I still don't. I do have time and I don't. It's like all the work that I've put has been put on myself now. I'm trying to understand though. Yeah, so if you can add a little bit more to it, if I understand that right. Because the way that I look at it is like, I always have one foot in one door and one in another. So I would try and see if you can back off on one schedule and add more to the other schedule. If you want to start your own business, having your own time is something that is not going to be easy to come by, especially in the beginning. You usually have to just grind it out. Rest when you're dead. I'm an actual employee there, then just started my own business, Central Carolina Window Tint, contracting myself out to them for tint. So you're tinting for them, and then you're tinting outside of that too. So you like, what I'm wondering is like, how tethered to that place are you? How many days a week? And then you're trying to pull in other opportunities. So what you need to do is try and restrict how much time you're fixed to them. And then work, like, because your other opportunities, I would imagine they'd pay better. So reduce one, build up the other one. But you might be able to do that gradually. Not all businesses will make that possible. But then you start looking around. I'm an actual employee there. Yeah, so you got to be there however many hours that they want you to be there. So if you can somehow reduce the hours that you're needed there, or that you can work there and then build up your own outside of there. But if they don't let you, well, then you got to look for another place that'll let you do that. So let me share how I got 2 days of the contract and 3 at the job. Oh, well, that's not bad. Yeah, that's great. So you're just gonna, what you want to do is maximize the amount of work that you're doing on those off days that you're there, and then eventually that's going to be your main gig. So what you're doing is you're just building up clients, and you're building up a schedule, and you're building up that, and then eventually you'll just not be an employee at the other place anymore. He's said they're pretty lenient. So that's great. That makes it a lot easier to transition. So the way that I got into this shop was a long road. So I was tinting at my dad's place, and then I was approached by a guy who asked me if I wanted to do mobile work for him, and I was just really frustrated where I was tinting at. You know, it was all just, you know, car after car after car after car every day. You only get paid so much per day. You pretty much hit your max. We had a bunch of other problems at the company too, so just, you know, trying to find extra help, trying to keep busy too. And it's just like, you don't really, I never saw a future other than just tinting a bunch of cars every day. So I couldn't, like, I didn't have time to do video or add to it or anything. It was just like, I am the tinter. That's what I do. So I pretty much then gave up the whole YouTube thing for a little while, and then, so at that point you're more concerned with money, and then I was approached by a mobile company that's like, hey, we'll give you 50% of every job that you do. And then we make a schedule, we handle the billing, and we handle the schedule, and then we just give you a list, and then you go run, knock out those cars, and then it's good money. So to switch over to that, I didn't want to leave my dad's place high and dry, but they were starting to do a little better on employees. And then so I was only there on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then he started building up, or he was able to rely on my younger brother a little bit more to pick up that slack. And then eventually, they didn't need me on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I was free and clear to go do what I did. So then I was doing mobile. And then, after doing that, I wanted to start up the channel again. That's what I decided that I really wanted to do. So all just running around tinting, making money, it's all well and good, but I really missed the creative side of it. So then, I took a couple days off on my mobile schedule, and I set things up so where I could try and pursue video more. I actually went back to my dad's place with the understanding that we'd be doing more video and stuff like that. Well, then wintertime came around, and then they just didn't have enough work, so they started laying me off more and more, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta take this shit into my own hands. So I still had a mobile gig. I was doing that. And then I started tinting, going direct to like some of the mobile places. And then eventually went completely independent, and then figured out this whole live streaming thing. And then I opened up my at-home garage for tinting, and I was like, well, I just want to be able to run live streams from home. That's what I want to do. So I still had like the glass shop in another place that I was doing mobile work for independently. So I built that up a little bit, and I was making good money. And then tinting at home, doing the full streams, that's what I really like to do. And then I got that notice from the city. So then I just was like, fuck it. I had some money saved up. I put a good chunk of that into the security deposit on this place, and then just hit the ground running with what I had built up before. So I always have my foot in like one door and out another. So what I learned most is it's like sometimes you can, where you want to go, you want to maximize what time you have available there. So you'll stuff that schedule full of what you can do until you start getting so much demand outside of that day. So like this was the same thing that I learned with mobile shops. So if I'm tinting for a glass shop or another company, you give them what they're capable of booking until they can book more outside of that day, right? So if I'm like Symbol, there's Symbol Auto Glass over in Shelby. They've built up a rep over 10 years. They've been doing tint for quite a long time, but they don't have an actual employed tinter. They always contract their tinters. So not every place is going to be like that, though. So what you do is you find a company that's looking to bring in window tint or that already brought in, or, you know, it makes sense, and then you see what they're capable of. And you give them like one day, and you're like, all right, you're responsible for Thursday. So when I come in here on Thursday, you need to try and get as many cars for window tint on Thursday as you can. Or this is the schedule I want you to fill up. These are the parameters that I want you to go by. And then you make that day worth it. So same thing for your own mobile schedule. You want to load up your own schedule on that day that you have available until it starts sustaining itself, and then you can add another day or a half day or whatever. So just keep doing that until all of a sudden one day you have enough work, and then you can leave where you are as an employee, and then you go fully independent. One foot in one door, one in another, and then just make that little skip. I think the biggest thing that I was worried about was like, I think it was like $7 or $8 grand to move into here. It was like 2 months security deposit plus the first month up front. But I was able to actually get the first month free too. So 3 months up front, and then they let me write out the first month because I wanted to put a garage door opener on that thing. And then I just didn't. But they're like, what we can do rather than pay to have a garage door installed for you is we can give you the time for free, and then you can save that money and do whatever you want with it. So if that helps you move in the space, because we want to help you move in the space, because if nobody's in the space, then they're not making money on the space, right? They want to get somebody paying. So that was kind of nice. I moved in October. I didn't have to pay November. So I got to ride an extra slow month out. And I was like, worst case scenario, I pull in more tint work or figure out another thing that I can do here to make it worth the space. I'll make it work. But I was really nervous going in here. But when I had it, I was like, oh shit, I can just pull in tint work. I can have people park outside. I have all the space in the world to play around with, so I can actually treat it like a shop. Whereas tinting for other people in other shops, you go by their hours, and you know, you always have to ask for everything. And then you always have to like have a debate, because it's not your space, it's their space. But now it's my space. My space is dead. I'm having problems with the roll down windows. I get fingers even when I'm shrinking. So you need to keep shrinking. I've seen this a couple of times now. This goes back to like the soap discussion we had earlier. You guys don't really, some of you guys don't really understand why you're shrinking. The film is flat, the glass is curved, so you're shrinking the film to fit that curve of the glass, and those fingers are telling you that your film is not completely formed to the window yet. So anytime you have fingers popping up, you gotta just keep shrinking. Shrink it until it's flat, so just keep going. That's all. I'm a car seat. You know, that one went really well. I had this one that went horrible like a couple weeks ago. Dude, car seats are just a mad puzzle. Where's my... This is separate. So it had the seatbelt go through it, and then it had that auto lock feature on the seatbelt. So it's like I got it mostly unhooked, and then there was some weird thing that was hooked in there, and then it kept going up. So the seat was just kind of like dangling up here. Good God. But yeah, that one went really well. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. These ones, they're just buttons on there, but you gotta jam your finger in there, or a hook tool or something to press those buttons, because the seats are so fucking tight against the glass. Oh, this is Fuzz City over here. Let me show you guys a little thing too, because we're making really good time on here. So when you're tinting a back window and you have that film dragging across the carpet, you're not you're not supposed to do that. But so no, I won't have a problem. Like I get the film to stick here and then I slide it down past that. But if you guys are ever really concerned with like a fuzzy deck lid or something, take your heat gun and all you need to do is just warm it up. So you're not melting it, but you are just reducing those top little hairs just a little bit. They'll literally shrink up. And you can throw a towel over it too, but just a little bit. So, in case you ever had that problem, just a little bit of heat. Don't burn the deck lids. That's not what we're doing. Don't go crazy. Am I taking the window out on boat? If you want to come here and help me take it out. Otherwise, it's staying in. Because somebody was so nice to say, it's because somebody was so nice and like, you should take that out. And I'd be like, okay, you want to coach me through it? Sure. And I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, you need some extra help. And I'm like, yeah, I have that here. Okay. Or do you have the heat gun on low? No, I just turn it up. If you think you're going to come too close with it on high, then sure, turn it to low. But, I mean, heat guns, I was hoping we were smart enough to put it back. We were not. It's a little cold. Is the water warm? Oh, yeah, it is. A little bit. All right, we're going to leave that there for a second. So the way that you handle your heat is distance. So, like, if you're only really burning stuff if you're, like, this close to it. If you're this close to your heat gun, the fucker's hot. If you're out here, it's warm, right? I could keep my hand here for much longer. So like low, and it's just, yeah, just put it on high. Oh, Jaybird. Jaybird's asking about taking it. No. Have you ever done a Fiat 500 with deep seals? How do you do them? You just do them. So, really, like, I two-stage those too as well. You just put it on the glass, fold it a little bit, and tuck it in. So, yeah, I know they got, like, seals that are about that wide, but they don't press too tight against it. So I do them the same as I tint everything. And then I'll sit there and press out whatever fold mark that I got in. But I've done a handful of those. They are wider. To me, they're not any harder than like a Chrysler 200 is. 200s have similarly wide seals. My hands are so dry now. It means I've been tinting a lot. Anytime I take like a week off or something, it's like I have hands again. God, I hate it. I need to get that working hands lotion again or something. I just need to be consistent with it. It's all. I think it's the Dawn. The Dawn really dries out my hands. Do you use GoPro to OBS? Not anymore. I would recommend it still, though. So I do this now. So it's an HDMI input. So this is the media mod. This is a battery to power the GoPro because the battery will die within an hour. And then I run that HDMI out to this guy here. That's a wireless HDMI transmitter. So I look like a crazy person. I am, but do you know the Muffin Man? Who's the Muffin Man? So when I was doing wireless directly to the computer from the GoPro itself, I was using GoPro to OBS, and I really liked it. The only thing is any wireless RTMP from a GoPro to a computer, sometimes it's fine, and then sometimes you just have an off day with it where it'll seem a little grainy, stuttery, and just not super clean. So that's just limitations of the GoPro. But I would also do the not the Amazon. I did an Amazon server, but I have other things that I would do. Figured out how to put Nginx on the computer and got it to work natively, so that was helpful. On average, how long do you take to do a whole car? I'm anywhere from like, right now, probably like an hour and a half. 2 hours if I'm like distracted. But I try and plan out the cars, like the schedule that we worked out is mostly like a 2-hour schedule per full car. And then there'd be other things in there. So it's like I got to speed up on this. I got to do those couple doors. And, it's like jumping back and forth between a couple things. You didn't have a YouTube video to this setup? No. No, the reason is the HDMI transmitter is a Hollyland $650 transmitter. So it's just kind of, it's not overkill, but it is like out of a lot of budgets. So I didn't actually feel like putting together a video for this one, but the one that I thought was really helpful to people was actually getting a GoPro that you might already own to stream to the computer you already have. And that didn't require anything extra other than the GoPro to OBS software. But you can also install Nginx on a computer natively and get it to work, but there's still like a 1.5 second delay. This helps with cutting down the delay too. So I can switch back and forth between a couple cameras pretty quickly. There we go. Now we're soft and malleable. Ooh. I keep catching the back of this. No wonder that cable broke. You're welcome. Just got my side swiper. I love the side swiper. I didn't think it was going to be super helpful because I ended up using like the Stroke Doctor, and I really like that one. And then so I looked at the side swiper and I was like, what's that piddly ass one? Get a Stroke Doctor. And then I used the side swiper. The softness of the blade is what really makes this handy. So I don't know about you guys, but I'll have little bubbles in the very bottom of the window. And the best way for me to ever get those out is having like a rubber blade formed to the curve of the glass. Plastic tools and stuff like that, they just don't seem to work very well for that. Even like the Conqueror and stuff just doesn't quite form to that curve very well. So I'll use like a bulldozer. And I like that because it's got that rubber lip at the bottom. But even that, I wish this had a softer blade on it. I really do. I wish it had a longer, softer blade. I wish it was more like this. And then it would like form really clean to the glass. Then it pushed everything out super quick. So this works most of the time. Have you done a Civic hatch? Yeah, I ended up buying the back window. Which is kind of funny because I've only done one. I was getting inquiries for a few of them. I've only done one with the back window that I bought, but I've tinted a few of those cars. You either spend like 15-20 minutes taking all that shit apart and then putting it back together, or just shrink it off the car with another piece of glass. It was like $165 for me to buy the glass. So that to me is totally worth any frustration that car has. When you just have like a super popular car like that, right? Like I wouldn't be opposed to getting a Model 3 back window too. Because if you have a car that's going to be a huge pain in the ass and you're going to get a bunch of them, just buy the glass. Ugh. Keep bumping. When you have a HDMI transmitter in your head, you need to hunch down more. All right, let's get this below here, and then we'll bring it up. Love these. They have so much space. You got a nice like 1/2 inch on the side. The panels stick way down. The only thing is like these weird little carpet bumps, but everything else, like nothing presses against the glass. It's all exposed. And they're really flat. Seals are very loose on these. Whenever you get the newer model Taurus, it's like they made up for whatever shit that they caused with the old bubble model Taurus. I used to get so many of those too. Everybody had one of those old Tauruses. And then it was the Fusion. Fusion was great. And then the Fusion changed to like the newer model Fusion. And I was sad. It wasn't really that... It's not that hard of a car. It's a pretty straightforward car. It's just how easy the older Fusion was in comparison. Made me sad. So this is one of those, I'm sad they discontinued this car. We just won't get. Yeah, this is built on, I think, the Explorer platform, so this is just a big old car, but with easy windows. When we get a schedule full of Malibus and Tauruses, I'm a happy camper. But then I have a Lexus RTX, like front doors and windshield, coming up. That'll be fun. No, what is that? Lexus R something? It's their SUV, like mid-size SUV. Yeah, buddy. What time is it? 2:20. Yeah, we're making good time. So I got a 3 o'clock front doors. Then I got to make a decision. I think I'm just going to wait till, I don't know. Might wait till a little later. Do that boat. We're doing it tonight, though. I just don't know exactly when. So we're going to hop off for a while. I'm going to let some batteries charge. Then I'll come back and we'll do that boat. I just don't know if it'll be like a late stream or like a mid-afternoon evening stream. This is a really nice squeegee. This one has lasted. What a shame. What a shame, you guys. You guys missed the best part. It's when you get to see the final result. It's all clean. I was just saying how much I like that squeegee. I used to use a Fusion squeegee and do that kind of stuff to it. No more. Just get yourself a big flat squeegee. I'd remove the boat windows. You want to come do it? I'd appreciate it. I was told it is not easy to do by yourself, to remove. And then nobody has given me instructions on how to remove them. They just all say, remove them. Like, no joke. I've heard it like nonstop. You should remove the boat windows. Are you going to remove them? No, we're not. So, not worried about this one, even though I probably should be more worried than I am. As far as this one goes, it's got a, ooh, you can see there's something that right along there. It's got plenty of scratches, plenty of scuffs. So there's a screw here, and this is a cap. I guess we gotta jump up here, huh? Is this the footstep? Is that what this is? What is that? I don't know what that, oh no, this is the footstep. Oh dang! Look at that. we're on the boat. All right, let's go check it out real quick. So there's a screw here, and one here, and one here. So, if it is as easy as undoing those screws and being able to pop off the top seal, then I would do that. I'm not yanking the whole thing. I'm just going to do that. But my question then is, once it pops out, how hard is it to get this molding to go back over the windshield? Yeah, this would be straightforward. Oh, it gives me a little bit of a air gap there. That's handy. Oh, that's not super tight. That's like medium tightness. So really it's going to be about keeping it clean. I'm going to trim it. As far as I can tell you right now, I'm just going to trim a little bit of this off along the whole thing. And then it's not too bad to get up in here either. Okay, I feel a little better about it. I really haven't looked that close to it. Oh shit, we got the key. Guys, let's go. I'm on a boat. The thumbnail should be fun on this. The glass doesn't have much of a compound curve. That's what I'm noticing too. So you're completely right. There's this curve, which is fine, right? It's like unrolling a roll of film. The problem is when it also, like you said, compounds and it's got a bubble. So this one actually doesn't look bad. What I'm most worried about is trying to get it clean in the seals, but I don't know. I think it'll be exactly what it was like in chat. What Braden said. I agree. Glass doesn't have much of a compound curve. It'll look intimidating at first, very minimal shrink. I agree. It'll be fun. We'll do a boat stream later on. Sometimes you just work these things up in your head so much, and you just need to do them. What did he say? Not optional wearing a captain's hat while tinting a boat? If you want to run and grab me one. I don't have one, but that would be fun. I want to take a good thumbnail with it. I think I'm going to swing it around here for the actual stream, and then, I don't know, take a half epic or lame, I don't know, thumbnail picture for it. I'm going to be on the boat. So we'll be doing that later. I don't know exactly when, but maybe that'll make you guys a little bit more confident in boats, because I've tinted a grand total of one. I think I tinted one. No, I've tinted two. No, one. No, two. One, two, one, two. We're well below 5. And the ones that I've done have both had areas where you can tuck the film. This one does not. So, hopefully my pain will be your gain as we dive into the boat and see what kind of treasures we find. Oh God, that's so lame. We can see how difficult it is for like somebody that tints cars. Who? Are Mary Ann and Ginger? Oh. Gilligan! Oh God. That was the best show. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I didn't get to obviously see it when it first aired, but we would watch my family would watch a channel called TV Land, where they would have reruns of all those old-timey shows. That was like one of the channels that they would have on like all the time. So they brought like the 60s classic Batman there eventually. We recorded so many of those. We love that show. That, I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, Andy Griffith's show, Munsters. God, all those old-timey shows. All right, we're pretty much done. So all that's left to do is take a picture and wrap up the stream. I got a set of doors to do in a half an hour, so prepare for that. And you all have a good rest of your day until we come back with the boat stream. So this was kind of like a pre-announcement for the boat stream. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. YouTube is doing this really dumb thing with super chats, and I gotta scroll back through. They used to give me like a whole list of all the super chats, and now it's like only recent ones. I don't know why that is. It's super annoying right now. Okay, so big shout out to John, Daniel. Just scroll back through. T-Jet. And that wraps it up. So thank you guys so much for the support. I greatly appreciate it. And anybody else hanging out, you know, I always appreciate you guys making this type of stuff fun. This was a good stream. I like this one. A really straightforward car. So no worries about these. If you get these or the Malibus on your schedule, you'll be in for a treat. Great car to learn on. Great car to have on your schedule. So I will see you guys later today. Have a good one. Goodbye.